Hello dear students, in this video we will discuss about the poem Christabel, which was written by the famous romantic poet St. Coleridge. Uh, Before explaining the poem, we must know about a little introduction about the poet St. Coleridge. So, the full form St. Coleridge is Samuel Taylor Coleridge, who was born on October 21st, 1772 in the Little Devonshire town of Otley, St. Mary. He was the youngest child of a family of 13 children. His father was Reverend John Coleridge. He was the vicar of the parish church. He was also the master of the free grammar school of the town. He was a simple, sincere, and good hearted man. His ways were somewhat eccentric, but he was a man of great scholarship and learning. The impression of his life and character on all the children, including Coleridge, was deep and lasting. The poet's mother is described as a woman of strong mind. She was attentive to her husband's duties. She was devoted to the husband and family. She was ever anxious to make gentlemen of her sons. It was the task which her visionary husband left in her hands. However, the father recognized the extraordinary genius of his youngest son, so he took personal charge of his training. He took him to long rambles in the country and early interested him in subjects of philosophical and religious speculations. Now we will talk about his early life, and now we will discuss about his academician life. In 1791, Coleridge was interred on the Jesus College, Cambridge, at the age of 19. In the very first year of his university career, he won the Browne Medal for a Greek ode on the unhappy lot of slaves in the West Indies. Coleridge is called. Now we will discuss about the literary career of the poet St. Coleridge. So St. Coleridge is called a metaphysician. He has produced more work in criticism and philosophy than in poetry. He devoted himself to music only in his young manhood. He was born a procrastinator. He was living Hamlet, forever plotting and designing, but seldom acting. So these are the works. These are his achievements in literary fields. Now we will discuss about the introduction of the poem and theme of the poem. So the first part of the poem, Christabel, was composed in 1797. It was published in 1816. It is a descriptive poem about chivalry and magic. It is a story of an innocent girl who is entrapped by a witch. The poem produces the feelings of our fear, mystery through its simple and natural sources. The main characteristics of the poem is its suggestiveness, which hints about mysterious, horrible events. It is free from shining light and dark shadows of ancient mariner, but it has the glow of evening. Suddenly, flames and mysterious noise emerge from dim light, and the reader feels the existence of evil power. It is a tale of love, magic, and chivalry, like Scott's Lage. Though the poem is published after Scott's Lage, yet its influence on them can be seen in Lage. Scots must have read or heard the manuscript of the poem. The poem can be called the beginning of Romanticism. It resembles The Lady of the Lake and the Eve of St. Agnes. They are based on the subject matter provided by medieval period. Christabel contains some of Coleridge's best verses. The word pictures in the poem are very beautiful. Now we will explain one by one line of the poem. "'Tis the middle of night by the castle clock, and the owls have awakened the crowing cock to who and hark again. The crowing cock, how truly it grew. Sir Llewellyn, the Baron Rich, hath a toothless mastiff which mastiff which from beneath her nail beneath the rock, she makes the answer to the clock, 4 for the quarters, and 12 for the half, ever and I by sign and sober, 16 short howls, not over loud, some say she is my shroud. In the beginning of the lines, the poet describes the environment of that time. The environment of that time is darkness. It is here the poet describes in narrative manners, and he says that she is visited by a demon. The poet is in the opening lines. The poet describes the setting of the poems. The action takes place in the distant Middle Ages with the castle clock striking the midnight hour and owls hooting in the background. The clock that is put up on the wall of the castle indicates that it is 12 in the night. The screech of the owls has disturbed the cock, which is crowing with a for the cock to crow. Sir Llewellyn, the rich baron, keeps a watchdog which has lost its teeth. The dog is chained in its strikers. It may be fear or fall, sunshine or rain. The dog must howl in response to the strokes of the clock. For each quarter, it will howl once, and for full hour 12 times. 16 short howls, not too loud, for 1 hour. Some people believe that it does so because the dead body of its mistress, wrapped up in the shroud, is visible to the animal. The poet introduced Christabel's dead mother into the poem intentionally. If the poem were completed, she would have defeated the wicked influence of the false Geraldine. Is the night chilly and dark? The night is chilly but not dark. The grey cloud is spread on high. It covers but not hides the sky. The moon is behind and at the full, and yet she looks both small and dull. The night is chill. The night is chilled and is grey. This month before the month of May, and the spring comes slowly up this way. The lovely Lady Christabel, whom her father loves so well, what makes her in the wood so late? A furlong from the castle gate, she had dreams all yesterday night of her own betrothed night, and she in the midnight would will pray for the will of her lover that's far away. In these lines, the poet describes the cold night and the condition of the sky and the moon. Then he tells us about Christabel going out of the castle at midnight. The first 9 lines contributes to the atmosphere of the first stanza. It is month of April. Moon is seen behind a thin and grey cloud. Light is dim and faint. As it is month of April, so spring is about to come, but it is approaching very slowly. In the next 8 lines, the poet tells us about Christabel's going out stealthy at midnight. He says that on a cold night when the full moon was visible behind a thin cloud, Sir Llewellyn's daughter Christabel went at midnight into a nearby forest. Christabel was a beautiful and innocent lady. The poet calls her lovely Christabel, meaning a being capable of exciting a moral attachment. Her father loved her very much. Her mother was dead. Last night she had some bad dreams about her betrothed night. She went to the forest to pray for his welfare. She went at midnight, a very unusual hour for a young lady to be out alone. Now we will explain next stanza of the poem. She stole along, she nothing spoke. The sighs she heaved were soft and low, and note was green upon the oak, but moss and rest mistletoe. She kneels beneath the huge oak tree, and in silence breathes she. The lady sprang up suddenly, the lovely Lady Christabel. It moaned as near can be, but what it is they can't tell. On the other side, it seems to be of the huge, broad, breasted old oak tree. Whenever, whenever Christabel went still and silently, she heard low and gentle sighs, with the exceptions of lichen and mistletoe. There was no other sign of greenness on the oak tree. Under it, she knelt and prayed. It was very usual hour for a young lady to be played out alone in a forest. The lovely Lady Christabel sprang up suddenly. She heard the sound of singing coming from very near. But she was not definite sound of singing coming from very near, but she was not definite about it. It appeared that it was coming from the other side of the big oak tree, which had its branches spreading in all directions. The night was chilly, all the trees in the forest were denuded of their leaves. It was the dull and cheerless sounds of the wind blowing through the trees. She thought, but the breeze was too weak to disturb the curls of hair falling on the cheeks of lovely Christabel. There was not sufficient breeze to move even one red leaf that was left hanging loosely on the topmost branch pointing upwards. So it couldn't be the sound of blowing of wind. She could not know what sound it was that she had heard and where it had come from. Now we will discuss about the next stanza. The night is still, the forest bare, it is so